Coach is back, and the playbook is simple. Fashion always looks to the youngest generation first, and then everyone else follows. Coach basically said, if we can win with Gen Z, we can win with everyone. And it worked. In 2024, Coach surpassed Michael Kors to take second place in the US luxury handbag market. By the fourth quarter of 2025, it was ranked as the fifth hottest fashion brand, climbing 10 spots. Now, you might be wondering, how does a brand do that? Because in luxury, it is rare to take a brand that feels like a mall staple, rebuild credibility, and come back as a real contender. That is very rare. So let's rewind. Coach started in 1941 as a men's leather goods business. The inspiration was a baseball glove. A glove gets better with age. It develops patina. And that idea became part of Coach. Bags that age well and still look good years later. Over time, Coach evolved into a women's fashion house. It opened a flagship on Madison Avenue, expanded into department stores, and built a name around accessible luxury, high craftsmanship, more reachable prices. Then came the late 90s and early 2000s. Coach bags were everywhere. The logo and monogram became the look. Teens carried it at the mall. Celebrities carried it on red carpets. But in the 2010s, the pendulum swung. Logo mania cooled off. And Coach made a mistake that a lot of brands make when they chase volume. Heavy discounting, too much outlet presence, too easy to buy. And when a brand trains customers to wait for a coupon, it drags down brand equity. Consumers started trading Coach for Tory Burch, Michael Kors, and Kate Spade. The brand lost cachet, and the business felt it. Coach shares fell sharply in that period. So in 2013, Coach course corrected. Because most of its North American business was direct to consumer, it had access to strong long-term data. It could see the problem clearly. Coach hired a new executive creative director, Stuart Weavers, with a high fashion background. And the shift was intentional, less heavy logo, more modern design, more youth. At the same time, Coach closed underperforming stores and pulled back on discounting. Then came the bigger platform move. Coach bought Stuart Weitzman in 2015. It bought Kate Spade in 2017. And it renamed the holding company to Tapestry. What I like about this part is it was not a light switch. It was a build. Fewer ideas, stronger storytelling, more focus, and a very clear target. Timeless Gen Z. Then the momentum showed up in results. Coach sales rose meaningfully in the early 2020s. And Coach became the engine of Tapestry. Now let's talk about what made the comeback visible. Social media, bags like the Brooklyn, Rogue, and Tabby became bestsellers, helped by celebrity and influencer campaigns. And when Y2K fashion came back, Coach leaned into nostalgia the right way. It reintroduced classics, refreshed older designs for a new audience, and offered multiple price points so different budgets could still enter the brand. Customization also hit at the right time. Bag charms and accessories became a real driver, and Coach experimented with experiences, concept stores, Coach Play, and even coffee shop formats to pull in Gen Z foot traffic. By 2025, the performance was hard to ignore. Revenue grew year over year in key quarters. Gross margin strength stood out, and a large share of new customers in North America were Gen Z and millennials. Some individual products went viral, and overall demand surged. And this is where Xena comes in. Because comebacks like this do not happen by accident. They happen when brands understand what shoppers want, shape the story, and execute consistently across the digital shelf. At Xena, we help brands do exactly that. We turn shopper behavior into better listings, higher conversion, and ad systems that do not leak spend. So when demand shifts, you are ready to capture it. Now, Coach is not risk-free. Social media has lowered the barrier for new direct-to-consumer brands. They can pop up fast and compete for attention. Tariffs and supply chain pressure also matter, especially with manufacturing concentrated in Asia. Coach has said it is diversified, with no single supplier dominating production, and it has tried to limit exposure where it can. Long term, there is also the question of expansion. Handbags and accessories make up a large share of sales. Some experts argue brands can dilute equity when they expand too fast into lower margin, higher risk categories. Coach has been more measured here, and that restraint may actually protect the brand. So, what's the takeaway? Coach did not just get trendy, it rebuilt, it simplified, it refocused on a clear customer. It used nostalgia, price accessibility, and modern marketing to earn Gen Z, and then pulled everyone else with it. Coach is back. And it is a reminder that in fashion, the fastest way to win the market is to win the youngest customer first.